Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, here we go. Another Thursday night. We got a little bit of review here with the Browns and Steelers.
Yeah.
Dave, how was this past Sunday?
How
was it, buddy?
As a Browns fan, it was yet another rough Sunday. I think we had to endure yet again. Although I think we're going to be saying that, unfortunately, a fair amount this season, Brent, as we continue to traipse through this rather rough Browns season. So it's difficult, but we persevere, right, Steve?
Yeah, that's right.
How'd you do, Steve?
Well, this was the first Browns-Steelers game I was not excited to watch. And I hate saying that because I'm always eager to watch them play year after year. You just had a feeling that it wasn't going to go your way. That's kind of how I felt.
Is it 2025 and we're still talking about field issues at Heinz Field?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah,
is that what
very much a thing, I guess. Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers said the field was pretty damn well unplayable. That was his exact words. Guys, they got to fix that field. And isn't it sinking too? That's kind of weird. I don't know.
Does it make people miss Old Three Rivers? I remember Old Three Rivers. And
I remember that.
With the turf and everything back in the day.
Didn't
you run over the baseball field, too?
Yeah, exactly. Remember the dual stadiums with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh back in the day? That was
cool. Jeez. Anyways, we're going to get into our first topic. That would be the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This past Sunday, and the Cleveland Browns did lose this contest. The Steelers won this game 23-9. And the defense did kind of hold up a little bit, but the offense did not really get anything going, did it, Dave?
Where have we heard that before, Brent?
It's a bad offense. Is that a thing?
Yes, it's becoming too common a thing, and it's something we're going to get into, I'm sure, Brent.
Yeah, we're going to get right into it. Mr. Dave Greenfield and Mr. Steve Retzer are going to give us their commentary here today, and we will start with Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, give us your thoughts on the Browns versus Steelers matchup this past Sunday in Pittsburgh.
All right, boys. As we know, we lost 23-9.
Yeah.
The Browns have now lost 22 straight regular season games in Pittsburgh.
Ouch.
I knew they would lose, but I was hoping it would have been a little closer or gone down to the wire at the end of the game. That was my hope. The Browns' offense is non-existent. I guess that how else would you describe it. Pretty bad when the head coach is supposed to be an offensive guru. Like, what team or teams have an offensive guru but don't perform on offense? Do you guys know anyone that's
I think it's fair right now we can eliminate the guru. I mean, with the performance with an offense that ranks in the 30s the last 2 years, I think the term guru has now been officially eliminated.
And they can't score 17 points or 18 points, 20.
Well, that's the thing. When are the Browns going to score 20 points in a football game?
Yeah.
They haven't yet, and they said it even goes into last year.
It even goes into last year.
What does that tell you?
Now, to be fair, the schedule does lighten up a little bit here coming up in the next few weeks, so we will see.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, we're back to terrible play calling once again. We're back to Stefanski's excuses about the play calling.
Mm-hmm.
He once again said, I'm going to keep calling plays. And he says, for us, the focus is being better as an offense. I know I can be better for this football team.
Wow.
All right, guys, I've heard this enough. I've heard this for like 2 years straight, maybe longer. I believe we need to blow it up. The GM, Andrew Berry, and coaches like Stefanski, besides Jim Schwartz. I do like Jim Schwartz, and I still like our defense. I would consider Schwartz as an interim head coach, and I suppose you could possibly let Tommy Reese do the play calling if that happened. Bubba Ventrone is not an assistant head coach, in my opinion. I might let him go too and put someone else in there. That's just my opinion there. Well, as we know the Browns drafted one of the top running backs in the draft in Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah.
He carried the ball 12 times for 36
12
yards.
times, Steve. 12 times. Your best player, 12 times.
The best
How
player
does that work?
on the team. Not good.
No.
It's not good.
No, not at all.
Now, he only averaged 3 yards per carry. I know you're playing the Pittsburgh defense, but regardless of that, there's no reason to abandon the running game.
Yeah.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel had the ball threw the ball 52 times.
That's insane.
Isn't that just way too much?
It's way too much.
And you got to make the argument here. They abandoned that way too quick. Steve and I watched that game at a bar.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're out somewhere out in Akron somewhere. And we were like, what are we doing? It's like, what was the score like?
It was 9-3.
9-3? Yeah, they're getting rid of it?
It was 9-3 at halftime. They opened the ball with the second half. They opened the ball throwing it. And, this is the thing. When they hired Kevin Stefanski...
He's a trickster. He's a trickster.
The encouraging thing that I always thought about Stefanski is he was going to build the offense around the run game. And that first year he did. We had a really good offensive line. We had Chubb. We had Hunt. We had a really strong running game that first year under Stefanski. The issue now is he has a really good running back. Lean on him. Now, the other thing I think we're seeing is when it comes to Guru, quarterback whisperer, I think he's lost everybody right now. Maybe he even lost you, Steve.
Yeah, and he's losing the team and the locker room, guys.
Yeah.
Now, Dylan Gabriel, he didn't throw an interception, but that's way too many throws, but he didn't throw a touchdown pass either, guys. The Browns receivers dropped balls again. Hello, have we seen this before? Jerry Jeudy dropped 2 balls, and Sport Trader said he actually dropped 3.
Yeah.
How you want to look at it. He leads the NFL in drop passes. Not a stat that you want. David Njoku had 2 drop balls. We should be talking about completions. I'm talking about drop balls right now. I like Harold Fannin Jr. He's a star on the team as a rookie, but he dropped the ball inside the 20-yard line that could have potentially led to a touchdown instead of a field goal.
Right.
I don't want to put all the blame on Dylan Gabriel entirely with the bad play calling and the drop balls.
Right.
But I hate to say it, but I'm getting ready to see Shedeur sooner than later.
Yeah.
I hate to have Stefanski be the coach when that time does come around because he's ruined some quarterbacks, in my opinion, and he isn't helping Gabriel. I don't think Stefanski's helping Gabriel, even though they're supposed to be that match made in heaven.
Let me expand on this thought for a second here,
Yeah.
guys. I mentioned him not being necessarily a quarterback whisperer. Let's think about it.
Yes.
When he was OC with the Minnesota Vikings before he got to Cleveland, he inherited Kirk Cousins, who was already a quarterback that was developed. When he got here to Cleveland, he inherited Baker Mayfield, who had already been here for a couple years, under a couple of different systems, had already been a fairly developed quarterback. Okay? He has never gotten a chance as an OC or as a head coach to work with a young rookie quarterback and develop him. He's never been in that position because after that it was Jacoby Brissett, who he was playing the games during the Watson suspension.
Yep.
Then it was Watson, who was already an established quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
So this is Kevin Stefanski trying to develop a rookie quarterback. You're seeing it right now, and it's not a good sign.
One more thing on that before we turn it back to Steve. And I want to have you guys think about this. I know Steve probably don't agree with me on this as much, but you might, Dave.
Sure.
I just don't think that it's Kevin Stefanski and Kevin Stefanski only. Because I feel like ownership and management and Stefanski, there's too many freaking voices. There's so much back and forth. And
Yeah, we said
do you
this-
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well,
Like, for example,
Go ahead.
let's say I'm your employer.
Yes.
What's the best thing I can do to make successful? The best thing I can do to make successful, Dave, here's what I need you to do. Go make it happen. I'm not micromanaging you.
Yeah, right.
And I think they're doing. I think there's.
Well,
go ahead, Dave.
Well, maybe you've heard this, Steve. Maybe you've heard
Yeah.
this. I've heard that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are supposed to be working in unison. That they're one.
Yeah.
They're on the same page together. Maybe you've heard that song and dance before.
I don't
Steve.
think they are right now.
Yeah.
I think they tried
Yeah.
to be.
They tried to be.
And if they are, it's to the detriment of this football team.
I want to say one more thing. I'm going to get back to Steve. That's interesting. Somebody said this the other day.
Yes.
Jason Lloyd, I think, was on that one other show.
Yes.
And he said, he goes, it's amazing how well they did in 2020 because of COVID.
That's right.
No distractions.
Yes.
No meddling owner.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of people. They said when you just locked in
Yes.
Stefanski, what is best. But what Stefanski's bad at, I believe, and we're going to also throw in the boogeyman, Mr. DePodesta.
Yes.
Oh,
DePodesta
not a fan of that guy.
is DePodesta and Haslam and Barry are all meddling with Stefanski, and I think you put it all together, it's a bad team.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I feel. Continue, Steve.
And Andrew Berry
Yeah.
trading Joe Flacco away, and then they interview Stefanski, and he goes, I didn't know what was happening.
That's
it's
a-
news. It's
yeah.
news to me as it's news to you. And then you trade him to a division opponent.
Yeah.
And Mike Tomlin.
And you didn't like that, did
excellent
you?
coach. I hated it.
Yeah.
He didn't like that either.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
necessarily,
Mike Tomlin
yeah.
said,
No.
Andrew Berry must be smarter than me. That was his quote.
Yeah,
Why would you trade to your division
Yeah.
opponent? Even if
You
you got a
don't-
losing record, it's just like a rule of thumb. You just don't do it.
You know another reason
You
why I
ship
think
them
go
outside
ahead.
the division. That's
Another
Yeah.
thing that I thought of,
Bottom line.
could this be the case where Barry wanted the other guy. Help me out. The Steelers guy we got. Help me out.
Oh, yeah. He wanted Kenny Pickett.
He wanted Pickett.
He wanted Kenny Pickett.
Stefanski won the Pickett versus Flacco. And I think this might have been this. I'm getting rid of Flacco. I told you so.
Yeah.
Could that be a thing?
It could be. It could be. I mean, you've made this point before that if the Pickett injury never happens, is there a good chance he'd be the Browns' starting quarterback?
We'll get this
at least to start the season.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want Kevin Stefanski to coach Shedeur Sanders. I have a feeling he might try to ruin him. Look, he's not the guy you wanted, Jimmy. He didn't want him drafted. What if he ruined him on purpose? He might get fired
Yeah,
anyway.
because he didn't want Shedeur. His idea was to bring in Schwartz.
Stefanski to get fired. Bring Schwartz on, interim coach. Then Tommy Reese handles him. Have someone else handle him.
It would be interesting to see the Browns. You know what? I don't mind a coaching change during the year, but do you think it's going to happen? I kind of don't.
Yeah. I have my doubts. Jimmy's talked about it before the start of the season. I think things got to get really, really bad.
Yeah.
You know, some people have said, this week could be an interesting game for both these coaches, Mike McDaniels.
Yeah. I've heard that they're both 1-5,
right.
so they're saying the loser may get fired as a head coach. I don't know how true that's going to be, but they're saying it.
Go ahead and continue, Steve.
All right, guys. So Harold Fana Jr. led the way with 7 catches, 81 yards. While Jerry Jeudy had the 5 catches for 43. Would have been more than that if he could hold on to the football. Let's get into this offensive line. Gosh, they struggled again.
Yeah, it's bad. Real bad.
They gave up 6 sacks and 16 quarterback hits. That's a lot, guys. 16? They were knocking Dylan Gabriel down. Did you guys hear the quote where they interviewed him and he compared it? He goes, how did you handle getting hit that many times by those Steelers defenders? And he goes, well, my mom kicked my butt when I was a kid, so I can... And they made a joke out of it, kind of. But wasn't that kind of funny? I mean, he got hit a lot. He goes, well, it's part of football. Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. He got thrown around like a rag doll, So let's get into this lineman here. Starting left tackle Cam Robinson and right tackle Jack Conklin both got injured, which hurt the line's play.
Yeah.
Getting into this Browns defense. The Browns defense struggled against the Steelers since they had to be on the field most of the game. They were tired and worn down, and the Steelers were able to run at them at times. Even though we had Myles Garrett, we couldn't get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the guy's old. I mean, he doesn't move like he used to. It'd be nice to get a little more pressure on him.
The one thing that Rodgers is doing is that they're kind of working that short to intermediate passing game. He's not making the high level down the field throws. He did a little bit towards the second half in this game. But much of Rodgers' season is him being able to get rid of the ball quickly to kind of mitigate maybe some of the issues they have with that offensive line. I agree with you. I thought that we could have exposed one of those tackle matchups, or Myles could have for sure, Steve.
And guys, get this, and I love Myles Garrett, don't get me wrong, but he was held without a sack for the 3rd straight game. Isn't that hard to believe? We think that he's got 1 or 2 every game.
Yeah.
No, this is 3 in a row, 0 sacks. That's hard to believe. Is he starting to not give up, but what is he thinking? I don't know.
Well, he was interviewed after the game, and you could see that when he's asked about the offense.
Sure, he's not happy.
Yeah, but you know what? Myles signed up for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard Tony Rizzo make the comment that, listen, you signed up for this. You took the contract. You signed the deal.
He's got to stick with it.
And you're still here, man.
Yeah.
So.
And speaking of, the Browns had no sacks, no forced fumbles or interceptions in the game.
Yeah.
That doesn't help your cause either. For the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers didn't have a great game, but he did enough to win. He was 21-30, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaylen Warren, he led the rushing game with 11 carries for 52 yards. It's not a lot, but he just wore down our defense, man. They were just getting worn down. DK Metcalf, 4 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. And then Darnell Washington, 3 catches, 62 yards. That wrapped up a lot of the Steelers' offense for the day. The Steelers' defense, they played good like they normally do.
Right.
6 sacks. Jalen Ramsey and Nate Herbig had 2 apiece.
Yeah.
Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt were on 1 together.
Yeah.
Derek Harmon had another sack for them. They held the Browns to 3 field goals. So they didn't even allow a touchdown in the game. That's pretty good on their part. Wish we could have done more.
This was a defense I thought that the Browns could do some business on, especially running the ball. It was 19th against the run. So this has not necessarily been, at least early in the season, more of the dominant Steelers defense we saw.
Yeah.
Although when you go up against the Browns offense, you're going to make opposing defenses probably look a little bit better than they should, gentlemen. So that's unfortunate.
All right, guys, so at any rate, for the first time in a long time, I was not as excited to watch this Browns-Steelers matchup. It's like we all knew what was going to happen. You knew the Browns wouldn't score, and the Steelers' defense is really good, and we don't win a game in Pittsburgh. On a good note, though, the Browns 1-5 face the 1-5 Dolphins, as we mentioned earlier, and they're at home, so there's some hope to get a win, but no guarantees.
Silver lining here, Steve.
I'm unsure how the Browns defense will want to play for Dylan Gabriel. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think they're secretly waiting on Shador to be get his name called.
Really?
I think they will try and play for him. But anyway, guys.
You really think that, though?
I
Hold on. Do,
Yes,
do you have any intel on that? Or you just
I think Myles Garrett would like to play for him.
Yeah.
I think he.
Really?
I think he tried
No,
harder
I mean,
than he would
no,
for
you hear what he
Dylan.
said.
No,
I'm interested to hear this because I never heard any intel on it.
Yeah,
Like where somebody made a comment
Are you throwing this out there, Steve?
If you look at him on the sidelines and they talk and they have their camaraderie,
Right.
you don't see Gabriel too much with them, but we'll see
You see.
Shador here and there.
Are they pantomiming? Are they like not talking? And they're like, am I going to look at Greenshield and like
I just
give him
think
a look?
You want to play for certain quarterbacks more than you do others.
Yeah.
They did want to play for Joe
I
Flacco
know.
at the beginning. Look how the excitement of the first game in Cincinnati. I know the Bengals defense is
They
great.
were reminiscent about 2 years ago. Is
Yeah,
basically.
but they were excited to play,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
made things happen. I mean, now they're just not into it like they were. I mean, they're still playing well, but they're tired, man. They're on the field too much.
Yeah.
They're probably wanting a change if the losing continues, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he's saying?
I believe so, Brent.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get to Mr. Dave Greenshield. And Dave, how was your Sunday, buddy? I know we already asked you that. We'll ask you again.
What do we say, gentlemen? Another trip to Pittsburgh, another loss. Steven mentioned it, the 22 in a row. Regular season losses. It's hard to believe that you lose to any opponent 22 times in a row during the regular season. A humbling experience for the Browns and for rookie QB Dylan Gabriel. Sacked 6 times, as Steve mentioned. It was frustrating, particularly because he didn't get the help from the supporting cast or from his head coach. 52 passes is just way too much. He did complete 29 of them for 221 without finding the end zone. It wasn't good. There were some missed throws in watching the film that he had some shots down the field. But, it's interesting. I think that the offensive game plan still is really lacking. The thing that would have really helped them was the strong running game. 3.8 yards per carry didn't help the cause. 12 carries for 36 yards for Judkins. Again, it's a 9-3 game at halftime. They get the ball to start the second half. How about putting together a good, solid run drive? Now, listen, I understand the run blocking continues to struggle. He was probably the focus of the Steelers' defense. Listen, they knew who the best offensive weapon is on this offense. But there's no excuse to have your quarterback throw the ball 50 times. Just none. And a lot of it was dinking and dunking, but, there were some shots down the field that I think that Dylan missed that he's going to have to take. And, this was...
He missed, but don't forget about the one that hit the football helmet.
It did, and the receiver could have helped him out there. I think
there's some drops by the other tight end.
Right, there were drops, no doubt about it. It didn't help that the Browns went away from their best player after the half. Of course, the 3-and-out to start the second half. The Steelers got the ball, and this is where the game really turned. The Browns got a really good stop on 3rd and 4 from the Steelers' 27, and then Cameron Thomas was flagged for running into the punter. And at that point, guys, that's when the dam cracked. Giving the Steelers a fresh set of downs. This would lead to the Steelers hitting tight end Connor Hayward for the game's first TD for the Steelers to take a 16-3 lead midway through the third quarter. By the way, this was a great throw by Rodgers. This was a nice tight window throw. This was kind of the Aaron Rodgers we saw in Green Bay kind of throw. Tight window. The other part that reared its ugly head again was the drops. The Browns could have made it a 10-point game with 4:08 left in the third quarter, but the drive ended by drops by both Fannin and Njoku. So both their two best targets for most of the year had drops in this one. So that did not help
Fannin,
the calls.
that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah. The Fannin would have given the Browns first and goal, by the way. While Njoku could have given the Browns a first down and been able to hold on to the ball. it was really disappointing considering these have been, again, the two most reliable targets on the team, especially with a wide receiver group that continues to get no separation and can't make plays. I mean, people that watch the All-22 will tell you these receivers aren't getting open. They're not getting off man coverage. The Steelers ran a ton of zone, but they were playing a fair amount of man, and the Browns couldn't get open. They just could not get open and make
I hear
plays.
some of them were running the wrong routes too, Dave. Did you hear that?
Yeah, the route concepts. This goes back to the play calling, too. Stefanski's not helping the cause here. And then, you get into the offensive line. The tackles continue to struggle. A 21.2 pass blocking grade, according to PFF. It's horrible. Cam Robinson gave up 6 pressures. Conklin gave up another 5 pressures. Again, the Steelers with 6 sacks. Watt and Highsmith, a half a sack apiece. See, that was my worry coming into this game. If there was ever a game where the guys like Watt and Highsmith were going to get going, it was going to be this against our tackles. And this is going to be the tough part. Whenever we face halfway decent edge rushers with these tackles, it's going to be a nightmare. They're turnstiles. By the way, hello, Andrew Berry, and not addressing the offensive line issue. We did not take an offensive lineman in this draft. He's missed on offensive lineman. They couldn't get DeJuan Jones on a meal plan that would work. He's hurt, and he's done for the season. This goes all the way back to taking Jedrick Wills, who was a bust, over Tristan Wirfs, who's become a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just been awful. This is where Andrew Berry probably should have been gone a long time ago. But I digress. There's my diatribe on Mr. Berry. In the final review of Gabriel's day, as we saw some good throws out there, but we didn't see enough of them. See, in this, my concern is the size is a bit of an issue here, Brent. And I don't know if you noticed that in watching the game. Go ahead.
I kind of feel that the reason why he didn't perform well is pretty simple. They abandoned the running game way too early. You have to have that work. What did you say?
Yeah.
You got to have a balanced attack for a rookie quarterback. Heck, you got to have a balanced attack for a veteran like Flacco, who's a statue. So, because they abandoned the run, I kind of feel like, he had to do a little more than he needed to, hence he threw it into traffic. It's a little bit of an excuse.
Sure.
But don't you think that 52, that's a lot?
52 is way too much. I said that from the start.
Yeah.
But what I would also say is out of those 23 incompletions, there were some missed throws on his part.
4 or 5 that could have been picks.
Right. So there were some turnover-worthy plays there.
I know.
So, and there was a couple of times on those sacks where he was holding the ball a little bit too long, I would say, as well.
He was. Yeah.
So, but he's not helped by the game plan. By the way, just let's get it out here, gentlemen. Is the Shador clock ticking?
Well, I think it is, but here's what I think. I don't think it matters at this point. Okay. Shador Sanders will play.
Right.
Bottom line is this: the only way that Dylan was ever going to be able to keep that job,
right,
one way. Got to run off about 5 or 6, 7 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
am I wrong?
Well, if the play calling would have been better in the last few minutes of the Minnesota game, they'd probably win that game.
Yeah.
So he would have gotten.
That would have helped it out a little bit. Yeah.
I always thought
they're not beating Pittsburgh.
No. Even if they would have come off a nice win in Minnesota, I don't think it would have helped the cause.
Yeah.
But, especially with the way this offensive line is situated, and he's not getting any help against these receivers, you got to have some skill. You got to have a solid offensive line to move the ball against the Steelers' defense. Just bottom line.
What I heard about the Shador thing is the other reason why they want to put Shador in. They do say that he's more accurate than Gabriel,
right?
Yeah. And he can see better. Well, that's for damn sure. But I think you might want to put him in there. He might even be more mobile than Dylan, right?
Guess what Mary Kay Cabot said? I almost laughed when I heard this, but I think it was taken serious. She said that if Shador goes in there, he lobs the ball a little bit. He throws softer passes, is what she said.
Yeah, that's true.
So the guys won't drop it.
That's a good point.
This sounds like little kid.
I know.
Is this PB football?
But he might be.
My goodness.
You know what? He makes a good point.
It's funny that she said that.
Wow, does he make a good point? Think about this. What do you have on your squad? Inexperienced players.
Yeah.
And what do inexperienced players like? What he just said.
Yeah,
they don't want darts like Elway.
The thing that I've said, and you did agree with me on this when we compared Dylan to Shador in the offseason, or the preseason, I should say, Brent.
Yeah.
Is I said, do you believe that Shador is more capable of making the high-level, tight window throws than Dylan Gabriel? And you, at the time, I thought agreed with me on that.
Well, he can, but here's the problem.
Go ahead.
If he holds on to it, then no.
I agree with you.
So there, keep going.
Yeah, that's why I said if you could kind of combine Dylan's ability to get rid of the ball quickly with Shador's arm
You know what
talent,
Shador does better, though?
Shador
does this better. Throws it down the middle better.
Yeah.
He does.
And
he throws it down the middle better.
Yeah,
and you kind of need that in the NFL.
Right.
Now, his outs aren't probably as good as my boy. But so, yeah.
Yeah, but he might be able to throw that deep crosser better.
Yeah, you might not
be able to throw the verticals better.
You know what?
There are certain route concepts
you know
that
what's
he can throw better.
And outs aren't necessarily always required in a football game.
Yeah.
The middle is kind of required. Don't you agree?
Well,
the middle's kind of required in an NFL game.
Here's what it is, guys.
Yeah.
In college, it's either really short or really long because the receivers are doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
If you notice in college, you throw a lot of short passes and receivers turn them into long catches. Or the receivers are beating corners by 7 yards and they're catching bombs like they're fielding a punt. You know what I mean? In the NFL, the money is made in the intermediate throws because teams are running a lot of zone. There's holes in that zone in the middle of the field, and the quarterback has to be accurate throwing the ball there. Now, I think Shador has really good arm talent. My concern has always been he does hold the ball too long. He breaks from the pocket too quickly, and I thought he took advantage of a lot of bad Big 12 defenses.
I'll say this. If he doesn't hold on to the ball, there is a chance he might be better than Dylan.
And
seriously, I'm saying that.
Yeah. And I would also add he's still getting these turnstiles for tackles and these bad receivers.
Yeah. Don't you agree, Steve?
Yeah.
You don't hold on to it. We got a shot. Go ahead.
I mean, do you think that Stefanski will be fair with them, though? That's my question to you guys.
I don't think it matters. He'll get thrown in there.
Well, like I said.
Oh, I see. You mean like what's that called where you sabotage?
Yeah, they sabotaged Baker Mayfield.
I don't buy that. I don't think they're trying to sabotage anybody. Kevin Stefanski knows his job's on the line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he doesn't want to get fired. I mean, he just thought in the back of his mind his best path to victory is dinking and dunking with a rookie quarterback. Because he doesn't want to have him.
That is interesting, though. They might ditch Stefanski at the same time they go to Shador. I could see that happening.
Well, that's what I was saying. Maybe Tommy Reese calls the plays for Shador.
He's
more comfortable. They get it to work out. Schwartz was a proven decent coach, not great.
Tommy Reese's genius is what's going to unlock Shador. Maybe.
You never know.
Maybe.
David, anything else on this recap?
Just a couple last thoughts on the defense. Yeah. The Browns didn't get a single sack out of Miles. I thought the matchup against Broderick Jones, who's a weakness at tackle, they'd be able to exploit that. But, he held up well in pass pro. This is probably a good reason that Rodgers ended up 21 of 30 for 235 and 2 touchdowns. He also took advantage of the newly acquired Tyson Campbell. He hit DK Metcalf for a 25-yard TD to make it 23-6 to open the fourth. They went to Campbell on this one, and he was in man coverage and got beat rather easily. The Browns did get a nice effort from Devin Bush, the former Steeler linebacker, 10 total tackles, 2 TFLs. Had a nice game coming back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he played good.
But this is the thing about the defense. Once again, it's a perfect example. The defense can only hold on for so long.
That's right.
And it's a matter of time before the dam breaks. Okay?
Yep.
And it'll be interesting to see going forward how long this can last. It may just be a matter of time before guys on that side of the ball start to check out. So the Browns' offense would not, score anymore after kicking a field goal to make it 23-9. Again, held to yet again under 20 points. Just in conclusion, I want to wrap it up here, guys.
Sure.
This is a football team that is becoming more difficult to watch. Last year, at least with Winston, there were some fun games. Watching him slinging around, either our team, sometimes to the other team. It was interesting, and it was fun at times.
Yeah.
This is an offense that just can't generate any type of chunk plays in the passing game, whether that's Gabriel, the wide receivers, the route concepts, whatever the case is, they're not generating them. We've already, talked about the reasons why. It may just be a matter of time before we see a change under center. Time will tell here, guys. I think Shador is going to be starting. It's just a matter of time. We'll need to see, at least for the future. I'm just disappointed in the coaching. And maybe as much as in coaching management, as I talked about in Andrew Berry, because this is his roster. There are a few ones that put this offensive roster together, and it's unfortunate. And as far as Browns fans go, we have to endure it.
Well said, Dave. All right, we're going to get to the Game of the Week recap. We're going to start with Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, did you win this one, buddy, or how'd you do? What happened to you, buddy?
The win streak continues, Steve?
The win streak continues. I had the Seahawks at the Jaguars. I picked the Seahawks to go on the road and beat the Jaguars, and they did just that, winning 20-12. The Seahawks are now 3-0 on the road this year.
Yeah, looking good.
Both teams go to 4-2 on the season. Head coach Mike McDonald of Seattle now has a 10-1 record on the road over his 2 seasons. That's pretty awesome, guys.
Did you see who Seattle's got this week?
Yes, I do.
They got your AFC Championship game team pick. the Texans.
That's right. Yeah, they do have the Texans. I got that at the end here.
Yeah. That should be interesting.
Yes, it will. The Jaguars, they had 10 penalties, including one that wiped out a touchdown, 7 sacks, 27 pressures allowed. I thought the Browns was allowed with 16. 27. I thought I was reading it wrong. You know, I watched parts of the game, but I was like, whoa.
The Seattle defense is really, really good.
They really are.
You know, it's not quite Legion of Boom level, you know, like those prime years, peak years, because they don't have that dominant secondary. But they're really good up front, and they generate really good pressure on the quarterback, as you could tell.
Yeah, they had a missed field goal, a missed PAT, and they had 3 drops. I actually thought I was referring to a Browns game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen, coach of the Jaguars, called his team undisciplined after the game, and I would agree, because I mean that all those numbers shows that you are playing undisciplined, and they got away with it before, but not when you're playing a better team like Seattle. I think they got away with it against some other teams that they were able to beat, but not Seattle. Sam Darnold, he was 16-27, 295 yards, no interceptions.
Wow.
Kenneth Walker's his running back. He had 10 runs, 34 yards. So the Jaguars, they stopped the running game, but they couldn't stop one player in particular, Jackson Smith-Njigba.
He's been awesome.
Gosh, 8 catches, 162 yards, and a touchdown. This guy is a freak of nature. What a season he's having for Seattle, guys.
You know, I have to say this, Steve. I thought that Darnold, I thought those last 2 games of last year, the loss to the Lions that cost him home field in the division, and then the playoff loss to the Rams, was the true Sam Darnold. I thought that was the Jets Sam Darnold that the Seahawks were getting.
Yeah.
And I thought they would decline in weapons and in coaching, because I'm an O'Connell fan, and obviously I think Jefferson's one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in the NFL, and Addison's a solid number 2, and those were his receivers last year. And then he goes there. JSN's been amazing. Clint Kubiak, son of Gary Kubiak, Super Bowl winning coach of the Broncos, is doing a great job with that offense. They really have not had a really good running game out of Charbonnet or Walker. If they get a little run game going, that offense could be really dangerous.
Yeah, they could be dangerous.
Yeah.
And Darnold, like you just said, I agree with you. I thought we were going to get that old Darnold, but we're not so far.
Yes.
But get into like Jackson Smith-Njigba, it tells you draft Ohio State receivers.
Yes.
They always end up being good.
Cleveland Browns, take note.
I know. I wish the Browns, man, we'll take any of them, man.
Yes.
Can we just get one?
They only started doing that this past season, and in the past they never really took Buckeyes, did they?
Well, I mean,
Luka for Tampa Bay's having a heck of a year. Look at
you're talking about
Browns.
Browns taking Buckeye receivers.
Or running backs for that matter. I mean,
Judkins.
Okay, I'm not talking about this past. I'm talking about even before that.
Oh yeah, as far as
they really
players,
never do.
I can't think of the last skill player they
That's what I'm saying. David skill, but I think they drove to like linemen, maybe some defensive
Jones,
guys.
We talked about.
So anyways, continue, Steve.
All right, guys. Well, Cooper Kupp, he had 2 catches for 40 yards. He had a touchdown reception. Now let's get the Seattle defense. Didn't seem injured in this one. Remember, they've been battling injuries all year. DeMarcus Lawrence, the former Cowboy, and then Byron Murphy, they had 2 sacks each, and they pressured Trevor Lawrence all day long. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, it sounded like his game didn't sound too bad. He was 27. Oh, and that's Brent's guy, by the way.
He's a fraud.
Oh, here we go. You can set your watch to the time when Trevor Lawrence's name comes
Jacksonville lost, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And what was the score?
20-12.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
What's that called when you leave the courtroom?
Yes.
Adjourned, like we're at rest, like we're done here. Nothing more to say, nothing more to see. He sucks. Anyways,
they
continue.
still have a winning record, so I think it's still early.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to lose too because the Browns have their other first-round draft pick. So
that's true.
It'd be nice to have a top 10, 15 draft pick instead of the end, for the first round. Trevor Lawrence, he was 27 of 42, 258 yards. He did have 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Not too bad, Brent Keaton.
I like to get C pluses in my life. You know what I mean? I think my mom got me a dessert or something from Friendly's when I got a C plus. That's kind of what that was, right?
Shout out to Friendly's. good breakfast.
I know.
Yeah.
Graham Road, they're bringing that back, maybe. I don't know. All right, that's enough. Continue.
Travis Etienne, he's had a good running game all year long, but this game he had 12 rushes, 27 yards, so he was stopped. They didn't run the ball good on either side, by the way. But Brian Thomas Jr., he had 8 catches, 90 yards. He caught a touchdown. And Tim Patrick, he caught the other touchdown pass for Jacksonville. Got to get into this Travis Hunter, guys. Man, he is not doing too much, guys. Just saying.
They need to. That would
gotta pick a side.
That would be the missing component, though. That would help Mr. Lawrence, whatever name you want to call him. If they can develop a 2 with Brian Thomas, there's the area to kind of pick up this offense, because they were running the ball really well with Etienne.
Yeah, Etienne had a great game.
He's having a solid year.
Until this one.
The one thing that would unlock this team is if they can get Hunter to make some plays on offense. That could be big.
Maybe Hunter could fill the role like that guy from the Niners, Debo.
Yeah.
He could be the next Debo, maybe. I don't know.
Kind of not quite Debo's size, but I
get the idea.
You can run him the ball, long passes.
Like the next
hybrid,
Debo.
right?
Yeah, the hybrid. All right.
I like it.
Well, he had 4 receptions, 15 yards. That's not too inspiring.
No.
He played 22 snaps on defense. He recorded 2 tackles. He had an offsides penalty that wiped out a Jaguars touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. would have scored a touchdown, but unfortunately, obviously they didn't do it on purpose, but Hunter wiped that out. The penalty was a mistake that could have changed the game's outcome, guys. The Seahawks defense played lights out on defense, and the Jaguars penalties hurt their chance to win this game, as we said. Sam Darnold is proving to be better than I thought, and this team could be dangerous come playoff time. They're tough on the road. I mean, imagine trying to face these guys. They'll be on the road because they might be a wild card. Or, you know what I mean? Imagine them on the road. Would you want to face them? I don't think I'd want to.
I'm still confident.
Even in a wild card game, Dave.
I'm still confident my Rams pick to win this division, but it's going to be a dogfight, I think, till the end. I really do, between these 2 teams.
Yeah, I'd still like the Rams to win that division as well.
Yeah.
The Jaguars, they go on to London. They like playing London. And speaking of, they're playing the Rams in London. Well, as you said, Dave, the Seahawks, they play the Texans at home on Monday Night Football. So I'll just have to end it with go Seahawks. I got back in the win column for my game of the week, boys.
There you go.
Okay, Steve. Glad you got back on the winning ways, All right. We're going to get to Mr. Dave Greenshield. Dave.
Ouch.
How was your game of the week? Wait, another loss, right?
Well, yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm going to start taking Retros picks.
I know.
Picks and everything else. I'm going to start taking Retros picks.
There you go.
Anyways, what do you got?
Talk about no luck at all. This was yet another close loss for me. I got the score right, by the way. I picked 30-27. I just got the wrong team. The Panthers would get the win. It was in dramatic fashion for sure. The game was tied at 27 with 6:07 left. The Panthers took over possession from their own 14-yard line, and Bryce Young and company proceeded to piece together a 15-play, 71-yard drive. They milked the clock, and rookie kicker Ryan Fitzgerald made the walk-off 33-yard field goal to win it. It was a nice day for Young. 17-25, 199 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have a pick. It was deflected off the hands of rookie wideout T. McMillan. I'm calling him T-Mac. Let's start calling him T-Mac.
Yep.
Little T-Mac.
They call him that a little bit.
There you go.
They do here and there.
He redeemed himself by reeling in 2 of Young's 3 touchdown scores. This was more like the Bryce Young we saw towards the end of last season. It did help that he was going against the 32nd ranked Dallas defense, by the way. They're making a lot of offenses look good. He also got some help from Rico Dowdell. He set a personal record for most rushing attempts in a game with 30 carries, by the way. That's a franchise record, by the way. Also in yards from scrimmage with 239. He's actually had a combined 389 yards rushing the last 2 weeks. Now, it's helped that he's gone up against a pretty weak Dolphins defense and pretty weak Dallas defense. But he's done a nice job of replacing an injured Chuba Hubbard. The game was what I kind of expected. Offensive fireworks, and it didn't disappoint. I thought that Dak Prescott played a really great game, by the way. A really strong performance. 25 of 34, 261, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Dak's been playing incredibly well this season. The offensive line did a solid job. They didn't allow a sack in 34 dropbacks, so they did a really good job there. It didn't help Dallas. They didn't get a strong running game. Javonte Williams was having a nice year. They only averaged 1.6 yards per carry in this one, so credit the Carolina defense for shutting them down. Another big day from George Pickens, by the way. 9 catches for 168 and a TD. He's really done a nice job of replacing CeeDee Lamb as the number 1 wide receiver in this offense.
Yeah, he's tough.
Dak Prescott kind of got this one going. On the first play of the second quarter, it was a tie game after 3. Tied game after 3 after the first quarter. In the second, he found Hunter Luepke in short range for the first career touchdown for the fullback. That made it 10-3. The Panthers would respond with a 6-play, 65-yard TD drive that would culminate with a 19-yard TD pass to McMillan. That would tie it up at 10. The Cowboys would strike back with a 13-play, 77-yard TD drive. The drive would culminate with a nice touchdown pass to Jake Ferguson, the tight end. That would make it 17-10. The scoring would end, the half would end with a 55-yard field goal by Carolina. That would make it 17-13 at the half. Carolina would open up the second half with a nice 4-play, 80-yard TD drive that ended with Young to Dowdell for a 36-yard TD pass. This would give Carolina a 20-17 lead. Dak would counter in the third quarter with a nice 36-yard TD pass to Pickens. That made it 24-20 Dallas. Going into the fourth, Young would lead a 10-play, 65-yard TD drive that ended with a 2-yard TD pass. McMillan's second. That would give Carolina a 27-24 lead. The key moment in the fourth is Dallas drove the ball to the Carolina 8-yard line. Dak would recover his own fumbled snap on first down, and Dallas would have to settle for a game-tying field goal at 27. This was the first of 2 key stops by Carolina. Dallas would get the ball with 8:18, and they were forced into a key 3-and-out. Give credit to the Carolina defense. By the way, a much improved group. This was the last ranked defense in the NFL. So far, they've kind of creeped up to average on defense, kind of middle of the pack. Actually, I think they were somewhere around 12th or 13th coming into this game. So they did a really good job defensively, stopping the run and getting key stops when they needed it. Young took over and drove 15 plays for 71 yards for the game winner. The key play, by the way, a 4th-and-4 conversion at the Dallas 40 with 2:31 left. He had Hunter Renfrow on a 7-yard pass. Carolina would move the ball to the Dallas 15-yard line, and it would end on the 33-yard game winner by Fitzgerald. Right score, wrong team. Carolina goes to 3-3, and Dallas goes to 2-3-1. Just in kind of conclusion of this one, just kind of an overview of both teams, by the way. Dallas quickly became, what I'm seeing, the 2025 version reminds me of the 2024 Bengals in a lot of ways, guys.
Mm-hmm. Dallas is exciting to watch.
They're exciting to watch.
Points. They're
got some bad beats, losing a little bit.
Well, let's look at the comparison. They have a quarterback that's having a great year. They've got multiple good receivers because the Lamb and Pickens combination could be very similar to the Higgins-Chase combination. And they have a bottom-tier defense.
Yeah.
They're basically playing Big 12 football,
like Joe Burrow,
kind of like the Bengals did a year ago. They're going to have to score, upper 20s, low 30s to win games. Remember, the Bengals lost 4 games last year in which Burrow and that offense scored north of 30 points.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
that's some bad beats.
Yeah, they ended up with a 9-8 season. Imagine they flip around a couple of those games.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you're really kind of wasting this really good offense this year by Dallas with a poor defense. Remember, this wasn't a great defense last year, even with their best defensive player, Micah Parsons. You lose Parsons, and this is now a terrible defense. The Panthers are showing some growth. I know they played some suspect defenses the last 2 weeks with Dallas and with Miami, but an improved run game. The defense is no longer the worst in the NFL, as mentioned earlier. And I don't know about you guys, but I think Bryce Young is showing some growth, and I still think there's potential there for him to be a franchise quarterback. I don't know if you guys have some positive thoughts about Young coming out, or
not franchise, but definitely a tier
small,
2.
He's short,
tier 2.
But he's playing much better than he did. He looks like he's in the right direction.
Tier 2.
I think if they get a secondary receiver, that would really help them. T-Mac's been a nice find, as their number 1. I never understood the Adam Thielen trade. If they can develop a number 2, I think Young can kick up his play another level. as far as the game goes, I need a winner, guys.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get to my game of the week. I was getting a little wishful thinking there that Mr. Flacco would be able to beat the Packers. Had a prediction of 31-28 Bengals.
We watched that game.
Yeah, we did. Not so much, though, as far as that prediction.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
27-18. I think the nice part is Flacco had a little bit of a late rally.
Good second half.
Yeah. The Packers defeated the Bengals 27-18, overcoming a fierce second half surge led by the Bengals, Flacco in his debut, but that surge wasn't good enough. The Packers' ground game featuring a pair of touchdowns from a battling Josh Jacobs helped establish a comfortable lead. However, Mr. Flacco ignited the Bengals after halftime, ultimately finishing with a strong line of 29 completions on 45 attempts. Wow, those numbers are better than what he did for us. My God. 200. Good.
Hey, throw it up to Chase. Throw it up to
Yeah,
Higgins.
get some weapons.
And good things can happen.
Do you think Judy can talk to Chase, maybe?
Pump the brakes on that.
No.
Don't go
Oh, wait,
there.
Judy's a no-show. He's
Yes.
a no-show job. We pay him not to show up. All right, anyways. 29 completions on 45 attempts, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. His veteran poise was crucial, highlighted by a fourth down. We talked about that. And a 2-point conversion to Mr. Jamar Chase.
Right.
And that trimmed the lead to just 6 points late in the game, forcing the Packers to rely on one clutch final drive and a missed Bengals field goal to secure the victory. And again, like I said, the Packers win that 27-18. And guys, Mr. Flacco, it just, you know what I think?
Go ahead.
This is the practice game for Flacco.
Well,
a little
I thought
bit.
he played a
They
good game for his first game.
Yeah, got to get
They thought it was going to be a blowout, you know? I mean,
I will have to say
he
this.
stayed in that game, guys. When he got it back and then did the 2-point conversion, right, with Higgins.
I want to see how that
We were cheering him on, right?
Can I say this, though? This Thursday night, I really want to see how that statue Joe Flacco looks behind that bad offensive line with Highsmith and Watt coming off those edges. Might not be pretty, guys.
Yeah.
Might not be pretty.
No doubt about it. All right, guys, we're going to get to the bold prediction review here. Dave, here's a bold prediction. Was that better for you, or are you still...
Rough week, Brent.
Rough week.
Well,
yeah.
You know what? I thought I had a good one. Matthew Stafford. I went bold, though. 4 touchdown passes against the Ravens. But the Ravens' defense has been carved up as of lately. We saw, a struggling Houston offense drop over 40 on them. And they were throwing it and running it on that defense. He only had 1 touchdown. He threw for 181 yards. Wouldn't you know, the Ravens defense finally plays a good game. They've been gutted the entire year, guys, by everybody. They really seem to limit the big plays, only an average of 7 yards of completion for Stafford. It really seemed like a possibility he could do it against this defense. Stafford's still continuing to play pretty well. They actually ended up getting a 17-3 victory out of this one. The Ravens offense is doing nothing without Lamar.
Sure.
So it's really struggling. The bye is kind of coming at the right time for Baltimore, by the way. By the way, just my luck. Stafford will bounce back this week against a much better Jags defense and throw 5 touchdowns.
Throw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
No,
touchdown passes. That's my luck right now, Brent.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, you're not going to keep winning and bragging, are you? For this bold prediction.
All right, guys. Well, I had the Titans at the Raiders. I predicted Ashton Genty to have over 100 yards rushing and beat the Titans at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself my first loss for a bold prediction.
Okay.
But it was very close.
Yeah.
Genty had 23 carries for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Not bad.
But he didn't get over the 100 yards.
Yeah,
so I was
you're right. That's
25 yards.
Still a loss.
Yeah,
you got to get
I'm going
the
to call it a loss.
You got to get the 100.
yards,
Yeah, the threshold.
shy.
Yeah.
They did beat the Titans 20-10. Cam Ward wasn't able to lead the Titans to a win. This actually got the first fire of the year. This game did, guys.
Yeah, the
Titans
Callahan
fired Coach Brian Callahan. First coach to be fired in the NFL, and they fired his dad, Bill Callahan.
Can we get the dad, though,
Yeah,
guys?
that's what we're wondering.
So,
Can
we
get Bill
scoop up the
Callahan
dad?
back?
Guys, Mike McCoy takes over for the Titans job.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. I'd love to get me some Bill Callahan back on the Browns on the offensive line. But I read some articles. Everybody wants Callahan. I mean, he didn't get fired really because of his performance.
Something that I've been hearing.
He went with his son. He decided, I'm going to go right with
Not
his
to interrupt you, but we got to get back to the Browns a little bit on this.
Sure.
Because this is something that's been bugging me. There has been some discussion about some of the assistant coaches not being up to snuff.
No.
And I think that's a factor, too.
Yeah.
We got to do a better job. The receivers coach,
Yeah.
the O-line. I don't think it's just talent, guys. I think there's some coaching issues
Well,
that's under Stefanski, and it does come from Stefanski. But
Stefanski
guys, don't you think?
Stefanski hires
Yeah.
guys
Tell him.
that if he was to lose his job, they can't take anything over. He did that, in my opinion, he did that on purpose.
Well,
these guys, they can't really take over. So
other than Schwartz, because Schwartz,
Schwartz
Schwartz has been a
Correct.
head coach.
yeah,
before.
Schwartz is
Yes,
like
man,
almost
he's-
the only exception.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
'cause
not.
he's been a head coach.
He's not getting shining
he
stars,
could have hired
right?
someone to really
Yeah.
help him out,
Right.
but that guy would
Yeah.
take his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good call.
agree with you. I don't like a lot of this staff. Can we start with getting rid of Bubba Ventrone?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
abomination
Yeah.
that is the special teams.
But you know,
the special teams cost him yet another touchdown.
But
this
hold
week.
on, though. Steve's right, though. That's on Stefanski.
Yeah.
That's his job to hire the staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the hiring.
You
He
can't
does
be.
the firing. He's
Yeah, you
supposed to.
can't be. But you're right. I think Steve's right, though. He wants to keep his job, so he's not going to get some rock star in there as an assistant coach. So he's getting a lot of yes men or basic. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, chances that Kevin Stefanski makes it through the season.
I think he makes it, but he's gone. I think at the end. That's kind of where my head's at.
I think he's gonzo, guys.
Not, but now or later. Probably. You think?
Before the season's end.
Ooh.
Really? You think
Well, I
he-
think you need a loss tomorrow or Sunday. Need a
I
loss.
Well,
think so, because if you keep not scoring, how do you keep?
Because a win keeps them alive. Keep in mind, a win keeps them alive, Dave.
They could keep losing, but if he scores 24, 30
Yeah,
points,
they
he'll
might-
keep a job.
yeah, you're right.
If he can't even score 20 points, how do you keep him would be a good question.
Well, here's the scenario.
Go ahead.
The next three games are as follows: the Dolphins, the Patriots, Steve's team.
Yeah,
Steve's new team.
his side chick. Yeah, he's got a
Exactly,
side
like
chick, and
Vrabel
it's
and
it.
baked beans.
God.
Exactly. So he's got
Ugh.
the Dolphins, he's got the Patriots, and then they have the Jets. Two of those three are very winnable football games, obviously, with the Jets and the Dolphins. Those are bad football games.
Yeah, you got to
Yes.
win.
So if he loses all three, he's gone.
Yeah, that would. You're right. He gave a scenario, and I would assume they're going to look bad. They're not going to be in those
Yeah.
games. And then what Dave said. Now, if they look good, and the offense isn't the issue, and it's the defense that stinks, well then, that's not going to be good either. Because then it looks like Stefanski did his part. So I think Dave's right though. You know what you need if you want him gone? You want him to lose like they've been losing, like to the Steelers. If they play like that again,
Yeah.
to the next three, he's gone.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
agree.
Good. Steve.
Dave, if you beat the Jets, you got to do it how Denver did it. They won 13-11 in London.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Browns would have to get a win like that because there'd be no scoring going on.
Yeah. Oh, and I believe there's something I heard. I didn't look it up. I didn't do the thing. ChatGPT has got a prediction for the upcoming game,
Yeah.
and the Browns win 17-13 according to ChatGPT.
Wow.
Over the again, that's kind of weird though. It's a low-scoring affair,
Yeah.
and it's kind of sad to get
Hey,
seven.
Tua's had some decent
Yeah.
games too.
No, Tua's thrown the ball well at times. The problems with Miami have been, maybe a little bit of offensive line related.
Yeah.
Really with their defense. It's been their defense has
Their
given up
defense
some
has been
leads.
struggling.
Yeah. So.
Well, all right, guys. We're going to go around for some final thoughts, and we'll start with Mr. Dave Green. So, Dave, wrap us up. Where you get any final thoughts for today?
Yeah, it's tough to remain optimistic. Let's just be real here, folks. But as Brent just mentioned, I think it is a winnable game this week. I think these next 3 weeks, as I just mentioned, are kind of line in the sand moments for the Stefanski regime here. If there ever is a game where they're going to score 20 points, it's got to be this week against a very bad Dolphins defense. We will see.
Steve, any final thoughts?
Guys, I like to call this the Browns version of the Battle of the Bad. 2 1-5 football teams. I guess I'm a little excited to see them play a really bad team because the schedule has not been nice to us so far. This should be the most winnable game, most likely, of the whole season so far. So I still want to see it a little bit optimistic. We'll see, guys.
I feel like the whole team is in disarray. I do feel like it's a management coaching conflict.
Yep.
I don't feel like it's. I feel like if you put Stefanski on an island and you said, get the team together and I'll talk to you in 6 months, God, I feel like Stefanski would do better. But you know what? We're not going to ever find out because the bottom line is it's not working. He's lost the team. It's over. They're going to blow it up. I think it's a matter of when. And I do think it'll probably be at the end of the season. Like you said, though, if they lose the next 3, though, that probably would.
I think Jimmy Haslam has to do it.
He'll have to do. And then we'll get to see Steve's boy as the interim head coach.
Yeah, I think Schwartz would take
That'd be kind of nice, right? Schwartz.
I'd like that.
And he used to be the coach of the Lions, and he had that infamous handshake with Mr. Harbaugh, and And
we'll see if Tommy Reese can come up with
Tommy
good
Reese
offensive game plans for Shador going forward.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting
no
collab.
doubt. And Steve's going to have a party as soon as Stefanski's fired.
Yes.
It's drinks on Steve. I can tell you that right now.
I'll get 50 cents off an iced tea.
50 cents off an iced tea.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal, boys.
Yeah.
You have to fire Bubba Ventrone also.
Yeah,
He was hired to be assistant head coach, meaning he's supposed to take that job over.
Oh,
But
that's right.
We need Schwartz to do it. Get rid of them both.
Get them out.
Rid of Stefanski and Ventrone.
Guys, guys have a good one. Take care.